You know what drives me absolutely crazy? Watching people dump their hard-earned paychecks into speculative, moonshot, cryptocurrencies, or day trading penny stocks like they're feeding coins into a slot machine, completely ignoring the fact that they've got a mountain of student loans or credit card debt charging them 20% interest, just sitting right there laughing at them. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has massive holes in the bottom and wondering why you're not making any progress toward your goals. My name is Spencer, and I spend way too much time thinking about wealth mechanics, portfolio optimization, and why most people seem determined to do everything in the exact wrong order when it comes to building a legacy. If you're someone who actually wants to understand the proper sequence for deploying your capital instead of just throwing dollars at whatever sounds exciting on social media, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it ends up saving you from some incredibly expensive mistakes. Here's something that might shock you. According to recent data from the Federal Reserve, nearly 40% of Americans wouldn't be able to cover a $400 emergency with cash. They'd have to put it on a credit card or borrow from family. That's less than the cost of a new iPhone or a standard set of tires. Meanwhile, these same people are in my comments asking whether they should buy individual AI stocks or leverage their accounts to trade options. It's like asking whether you should install a turbocharger on a Ferrari when you don't even have enough money to put gas in the tank or fix the flat tire in your current driveway. The truth is, there's an optimal order for managing your money that can literally save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest and lost opportunity costs over your lifetime. It dramatically accelerates your path to financial independence. But most people ignore this sequence because it isn't sexy. It's not as exciting as picking the next Nvidia or trying to time the market bottom. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact 4-step order you should be investing your money so you can maximize your compound interest while minimizing your catastrophic risk. And I guarantee some of this is going to surprise you, especially the part about why a specific type of boring savings account might actually be a better investment than the S&P 500 and why the government is essentially offering you a 100% return that you're probably leaving on the table. Step 1. The fortress. The psychological safety net. Before you invest a single dollar in the stock market, you need to establish the fortress. This is your emergency fund. Now, I know this sounds boring. I know you'd rather hear about which tech stocks are going to make you rich. But here's why this matters more than you think. An emergency fund isn't just about having money for a rainy day. It's about creating a psychological safety net that prevents you from making terrible, fear-based financial decisions when life inevitably throws you a curveball. When you don't have a cash buffer, every minor inconvenience, a broken water heater, a medical bill, a flat tire, becomes a financial crisis. And when you're in a crisis, you make dumb money moves. You pull money out of your long-term investments when the market is down, or you rack up high-interest debt just to survive. The question everyone asks is, how much should you save? The traditional advice is 3 to 6 months of expenses, but that's so broad it's almost useless. Here's what I recommend for the fortress stage. Phase A, the $2,000 starter buffer. You need to do this as quickly as possible. Sell stuff, take an extra shift, whatever it takes. This covers 90% of life's nuisance emergencies. Phase B, the 3-month stability fund. Once your high-interest debt is gone, which we'll talk about in a second, you build this up. Think of this like the foundation of a house. You wouldn't start picking out fancy granite countertops if your foundation was cracked and the soil was shifting. Your emergency fund is the concrete that keeps the rest of your investment strategy from collapsing when the economy gets shaky. Step 2. Eliminating the wealth killer. Once you have your starter buffer in place, the next step is absolutely critical. You need to eliminate all high-interest debt before you move forward. And when I say high interest, I'm talking about anything charging you more than 7% or 8% annually. Credit card debt is the obvious villain here, but this also includes predatory personal loans and high-interest car notes. High-interest debt is financial cancer. It grows faster than almost any reasonable investment return you could ever expect to make in the market. Trying to build wealth while carrying a balance on a 22% interest credit card is like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of heavy rocks. You might be moving forward, but you're working 10 times harder than you need to, and eventually, the weight will crush you. Mathematically, paying off a 22% credit card provides you with a guaranteed 22% return on your money. You cannot find that in the S&P 500. You cannot find that in real estate. Even Warren Buffett doesn't consistently beat a 22% annual return. The strategy here is simple. Use the debt avalanche. List your debts from highest interest rate to lowest. Pay the minimums on everything. Then throw every extra cent at the one with the highest rate. It's the most efficient way to stop the bleeding. Every dollar you stop paying in interest is a dollar that can finally start working for you instead of for the bank's shareholders. Step 3. The free money, bridge, and tax optimization. Here's where it gets interesting. There's one major exception to the rule about paying off debt, and it's so important it becomes step 3. If your employer offers a 401k match, you should utilize it to get the full benefit immediately, even if you're still working through some of your mid-tier debts. The employer match is essentially a guaranteed 50% to 100% return on your investment. If your boss says, if you put in $1, I'll put in $1, and you say no thanks, you are literally throwing money into the trash. It's like finding a stack of $100 bills lying on the ground and walking past them because you're too busy looking for a penny. You take the match first, then you go back to aggressive debt payoff. Once the high-interest debt is dead and the match is secured, we move into the tax optimization zone. This is where things get really interesting and where most people get distracted by shiny objects. They skip right to a standard brokerage account when they should be maximizing tax-advantaged accounts first. Specifically, you need to look at the Roth IRA and the HSA, health savings account. The Roth IRA is a miracle of the tax code. You pay taxes now, but the money grows tax-free and comes out tax-free in retirement. The HSA is the Swiss Army knife of investing. It's triple tax-advantaged. You get a tax deduction for putting money in, it grows tax-free, and if you use it for medical expenses, it comes out tax-free. It is the most underutilized wealth-building tool in existence. Most people skip these because they want the flexibility of a regular brokerage account. But they forget about the tax drag. Over 30 years, paying taxes on your dividends and capital gains every year can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's the difference between keeping your progress and slowly feeding it to the IRS. Step 4. The wealth accumulator, the Wild West. Here's something that might surprise you. Most people never actually get past step 3. If you can max out your 401k, your Roth IRA, and your HSA, you are already in the top 5% of savers in the country. You are setting yourself up for a retirement that most people can only dream about. But if you have handled your fortress, killed your debt, and maxed out your tax-advantaged buckets, that is when we finally get to the step everyone wants to start with, the taxable brokerage account. The taxable account is the Wild West of investing. This is where you can buy individual stocks, experiment with ETFs, or speculative assets. It offers complete flexibility. You can take the money out whenever you want without penalties. But it's also where people make their biggest mistakes because they think having unlimited options makes them smarter. People get so excited about the freedom of a brokerage account that they forget they're running a race while someone keeps throwing sand in their shoes. In a taxable account, every time you sell a stock for a profit, the government takes a cut. In your Step 3 accounts, that money stays in your pocket to compound. Use Step 4 only when your tax-sheltered buckets are completely full. This is the overflow parking for your wealth. So, there you have it. The optimal 4-step order for investing your money that most people completely ignore in their rush to get rich quick. The fortress: build that $2,000 buffer and eventually 3 to 6 months of expenses. The villain: kill every debt above 7% interest with extreme prejudice. The optimization: grab your employer match, then fill your Roth IRA and HSA. The accumulator: only then do you move to taxable brokerage accounts and individual stocks. Follow this sequence, and you'll be building a financial skyscraper while everyone else is still trying to build a shack on top of a swamp. It might not be the fastest way to look rich on Instagram, but it is the fastest way to actually be wealthy in real life. Your future self will thank you for having the discipline to do the boring stuff first.